Hey, we're coming to you live from beautiful downtown southern sunny California. All right, we are going to be painting in this video. I'm going to be showing you some tricks, some methods, techniques of professional painting. All right, how to do it right. All right, first I'm going to put some paint on my brush. You don't want a dry brush. See those bristles separating? That means there's not much paint in there. Right, and if we go on the wall, you can see how thin this is, okay? So this is called dry brushing. Sometimes you can tell it here at the end of your bristles, the outside will start splitting and cracking. That's when it's really dry. All right, so with no further ado, let's do this. All right, I'm going to be painting up here in the corner of the ceiling. All right, and show you a technique to make this job a little more smooth and easier to accomplish. First thing you want to do is you come up here, you come down about 1/4 of an inch from the corner and paint across. All right, just paint it across. Okay, now I'm going to bring this up. All right, I'm going to work this up right close. I'm going to come across. All right, now this is also the same color as the ceiling, this transition right here, this drop down, right, this soffit right here, it's the same. Now, so now that I have it painted right up here close, you look at, when you are painting, especially when you're cutting in, just the edges, the outer edges of the brush, and you're just painting with the tips of the bristles. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. All right. I'm going to catch here going back across. All right, so I'm going to start here. I'm coming in, and now if you see, that isn't going to work. I'm going to have to do another angle, so stay tuned or hold on. We're going to catch it at another angle to the tips of the bristles of the brush. The others fanned out. All right. Now I'm going to catch it at this angle. I'm going to twist into it, and then I'm just going to glide the very tips of my bristle, my paint, right into that corner, just like that. All right. So you take the excess paint on your brush and you lay it off, just like this. All right, and you come back. Now I'm in my corner over here. Same thing, I'm going to push back against, you see the angle on the brush. Okay, the long point is at the top. The bottom point is shorter. Now I'm going to push in to the bottom of my brush. Push it in, all right? Now I'm going to go forward, see? And now I can come in here and glide right into that corner. Bam, and get that corner. Sometimes you might have to take a couple passes, so you come up here this way, all right, and you take a pass, and you take a pass, you get a little closer, and then you just, and then here you see that up in there. When I take this way again, I'm just going to push my tips of my bristles right into that corner. See, I'm going to start back here, just going to push it in and just get the tips. Right now, I got that spot there. All right, just the tips. Okay, I'm going to come over here, spread out my brush, and then kind of glide it into that corner right along that edge. Now I'm going to catch this edge this way. All right, I'm going to use the front of my brush, get it right into that corner. Bam. Sometimes you got to catch it back the other way. And again, I'm using just the tips of the bristles right in to that corner, right into that edge, and bam, complete. All right, it's not quite the way I want it. Okay, so here we go, right in that corner. Lay it in there. Done. All right, now Okay, you can see. Alright, done. All the way across. Not all the way, but in that section. Alright, completely separated. I'm going to have to take my little scraper and cut into that area, make it smooth it out. Alright, okay. I just got to kind of press that in, work it in. Alright, I can hit it with a little paint and I'm good. Alright, that's how you do that. Now I'm going to show you how to cut in alongside the door. Alright, there's so much area section at the top with tape, and then down here no tape. Alright, and I want to show you, you treat it the same whether there's tape on it or not, and you see the tape is completely covering. No, it's not completely covering. It's not completely covering. Alright, so this is what you do. Alright, this is what we do. We're going to get right here next to this, and we're just going to come on down. Alright, we're just going to come right on down next to this. Alright, I'm just going to come on down. Alright, now we're going to take this paint. We're just going to push it in there. Get closer and closer, and again, you're using just the tips of the brush. Alright, now you can spread them out. Okay, you just get the outer edge of the bristles right where you want them. Just like this, and you follow it. See, right there at that edge. Look at that. Okay, now any place you get paint on there, I'll show you what you do next. When you make a mistake, I'll show you how you fix it. Alright, take your rag, put it over your putty knife. Alright, and you come right flat in line, just come down. Voila. There you have it. Alright. You get a clean spot. Alright. Move your material. Alright, again, keep it flat. Come right into that corner, flat on your trim, and bam. Paint removed. Okay, you see just a little bit of residue on there removed. Okay, now let's get back to painting. This is for the beginner and for those that don't know, haven't painted much. Alright, let's get the brush loaded up with paint. Alright, tap it on the side. Get back in there. Alright, now come up. Alright, now you can also roll your forward and then roll your hand back. Forward, back and come up. Forward and back and come up. Back side, or bottom side, top side. Now your paint's in the brush. Alright, no drippage. Now again, first thing we're going to do is, alright, we are going to come up here and get it close. Alright, we're just going to get it close. We're going to lay this off. This is called laying off your paint, getting it smooth. Then I'm going to take my brush paint that's in my brush. Alright, it's getting a little dry as you see. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is, alright, I'm going to come in at an angle. See the slight angle on my brush. I'm going to roll it over as I flatten out the bristles. See, I'm flattening out the bristles. And I'm catching it right along that edge. Alright, and you come up here and you do it again. A little bit closer. Okay, just the edges of the bristles. See, right there, just the tips. We're catching it. Alright. Okay, or you're gliding. This helps your paintbrush to glide, having this paint over here. Alright. And again, we're dipping. Alright. Alright. We're loaded back up and we're going to come down. Okay. Now we're gonna bring this paint down here. Gonna get it close. All right, now we got it close. And we're laying off our paint. Okay. Now I'm getting more paint on my brush. Okay. Now we're going to come into here. We're going to start out here. Flatten it out. All right, then roll it in and bring it down. See, I'm coming out here, then I'm swinging over to it. I'm coming into it. All right. Now, if you shake shake your brush, watch what I'm doing. That pushes the paint out. See how that paint, just from shaking, just from wiggling it, all right? Now, so, I'm going to get my bristles spread out. Now that I'm getting them spread out, I can then twist and turn and keep pressure. Look at the angle on my brush. All right, that's the angle on the brush. I'm pushing forward. All right, slight forward motion spreads them out. Okay, and we just want just the tips down here in that corner. All right, look. All right, just the tips. If we come over here, all right, look at the angle on the brush. All right, use the tips. And just get them tips and bring it on down. Look at that. Now I can come over here, kind of catch it with the side. Kind of get a little closer at the tips. Bam, got it. There it is. Perfect. All right. I'm going to see that again. All right, we're going to get a little more paint on the brush. Always keep your brush wet. And do not get your paint. All beginners have a problem getting paint up here. Keep your paint down in this area, below your metal band, all right? Down here, keep your paint. All right, now, we're going to do it again. All right, we're going to come in here, we're going to get close. We're just going to come down, bam. Come back up. All right, you see this buildup right there. All right, we're going to smooth it out. Bam. All right. Now, again, we're going to come up above the area I'm going to here. All right. So I come up above it. I spread it out. Look at the angle on the brush. I spread out the tips of my bristles. Okay, now I turn it in and I come in this way. Then I swing it around and I catch it with just the tips and look at the angle on my brush. Okay, you swing it around and you come in and bam, here we are at this point. Okay. Do it again. I think I have enough paint on my brush. I'm going to come this way. All right. And I'm going to lay it off. Okay. Now you don't want start and stop marks. You bring this all the way up and lay it off. Okay. Come up above that. Come down and get it all feathered and nice. Now I'm going to use a roller after this. I'm going to roll these walls. Okay. Now, we're almost here at the bottom. We're really close to the bottom here. All right. Now, here we go. Close. Okay. Come up. I'm about 2 foot from the bottom at this point. And I'm going to lay it off. Bam. Now we're going to come in here. Okay. All right, now I'm going to come in above. All right, now catching the bristles. All right, and we're just catching it with the tips of the bristles on the brush. Coming on down, see? And there we have it. Complete. All right. Again. Come back up. This way when I go to roll, I'll have this margin for my roller in here that I can just roll on and I'll never touch my door. Okay. Now, let's redip. Okay. Here we go. See, I'm holding my brush. Or this way. All right. Lay it off. Okay, now it's kind of rough down here in the paint, so we're going to smooth it out just by coming light pressure. Come up with light pressure. Light pressure smooths it out. All right, casting the shadow. All right, now I'm going to catch it up about right here. I'm going to go up a little bit higher. You always want to go a little higher. Fan out your brush. I got to wipe that off. All right. Fan it out. Use just the tips of the edge and the front of your brush. And keep it coming down. And now you turn it around. All right. And you catch the long point. It goes to the bottom now. Alright, and again, I'm pressing into the heel of the brush, getting it right down in that corner. Alright, and then I'm using just the tips of the bristles, getting right inside there. Bam. Done. Now I just need to clean it up where I've touched it just a little bit there. Alright. When you know this little trick using your putty knife, it makes a world of difference. Keeping it smooth. All right in here. All right, bam. Cleaning that up. All right, now this may be some old paint right there. Nope. All right, and we know we've got paint there. All right. Now this is where you take this off of your putty knife and you put it on your finger. This is for those that don't know, so bear with me. All right, I'm getting my fingernail right in there, right? Put my fingernail right into that joint and I'm pressing flat. Okay. And it's looking like this happens to be old paint unless it comes off. It's coming off. All right, this is new. You want clean and keep your rag clean when you wipe it, so you don't spread the paint that's on your rag. So you always want a clean area. Again, this is for the beginners. And there we are, good as new. Good as new. That's how you do that. So we're going to be rolling next after I get this cut in. So stay tuned for rolling this out. I have some tricks and tips to show you with rolling it out. Okay.